see. Got it. Excellent, guys. We are on Facebook. Let me make sure. Yep, my volume is up. My camera is on. I am with you. Let me make sure. There we go. Yay, look at some light in here. Oh my goodness. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm used to doing this during the day where I have sunshine coming through and all that fresh light. So I am going to do my best to look at chat this afternoon because I want this to be an extremely interactive session. So I've got my phone on so I can look at the comments. I'm super excited. If you are going to be able to join Zoom, go ahead and log in. And I know 4:30 worked great for some, worked better for some of you. I got that feedback to do it at 4:30 rather than in the morning, but I totally understand that you may be getting home from work, just getting settled with your families and needing to watch the replay. So let me know if you're watching the replay, put in the comments, #replay. And then as I go through this session, please comment below and let me know what your questions are, what your, like what the takeaways are, like just what those aha moments are, because we ourselves were on the road today. So I feel like this is a perfect topic for you this afternoon, is just on eating out, eating on the go, making it work to the best of your abilities. Yep. The best of your ability. I didn't realize that was going to be so loud, but it was, and it was awesome. Okay, because then I know like I am live and it is all good. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to watch the comments here. Okay, so first of all, I want to tell you that any straight and strict person with the nutrition knowledge that I need to bring you would be like, okay, there are some crappy oils out there. And we have spent 2 days on getting ourselves educated around allergies, particularly autoimmune conditions and how they affect our autoimmune health, and mast cell activation, as well as celiac. Okay, is eating out ever going to be as safe as eating at home? And absolutely not. But when I asked you guys what you needed from this workshop, many of you stressed the strain of being able to eat on the go. Okay, our jobs have us on the go. I know one person who commented, actually multiple people who have commented, are real estate agents. You are oftentimes out showing houses and you're hopping from house to house to house. You may be at one house and a client calls you and they want to see the house and you're like, oh yeah, I can just come straight from here. So your day deviates from what was actually planned, and you need to also pivot and get some nutrition in your body. And that doesn't always mean it's like this 100% safe nutrition. Okay, so that's where the reality comes in, is I want you to know that I am completely aware that eating on the road is sometimes part of our life and what we need to do to survive, because the last thing I want you to do is to send your body into starvation mode. Okay, we do not want our bodies to go into starvation mode, not know exactly when the next meal is going to come, and that wrecks our metabolism, it wrecks our hormones, it wrecks our health, and it contributes to weight gain, to be honest with you. Now, one of my precious clients who has attended some of this week's workshop with us is one of my mast cell activation clients. And, and I'm going to use her as an example for a second. Like, sometimes people are not eating and they're putting their body into a starvation mode. And this is not her, she was trying to eat, but she had so many reactions. Like, if you can just, I know I used my family as as an example, and I do that often, so I'm not fumbling with my words like this when I'm trying to talk about someone else, but not, to say their name or, violate HIPAA as well. But what I want to tell you is, if you come to the table with 29 foods that you need to navigate, it can get difficult and it can get hard. And that's where it was for us. Now, luckily, we have gotten that down to very, very few. and I know the reactions to those, so I know what to look for, and I also know our limits. And that's part of today's discussion, is identifying your limits. Now, when I do the food testing, I also test 190 foods. So if you come back with 20 that you can't eat, we still have 170 to work with, which is awesome. And within that, we're going to have foods that have a very high nutritional value. And we're also going to have foods that have a very high fat value and can support your hormones. So that is wonderful. We want to like really gravitate to those and support your body. But this in particular individual was 91 pounds, very hard to eat any foods when we first met. And maybe you're in that position, and we've got to come in and calm the immune response, calm the body, heal the gut, and really rework that immune system so your body can handle more foods. So perhaps you're in that position. And so when I talk about starvation mode, we can talk about it from multiple different areas. But today's society going on a low fat, low calorie diet really wrecks hormones. And that's part of the holistic plan that I like to address, is bringing in the fat, the calories, to not only nourish our body and our cells and support our immune system and our energy levels, but also to support the hormones. Okay, so we've spent 2 days now educating around those autoimmune conditions, what triggers our body. We've talked about food journaling. Okay, and we're going to talk about that some more tomorrow as we talk about mindful eating, intuitive eating, the holistic approach of bringing all this full circle. Because then yesterday we focused a lot on the foods that are common triggers to the body, but the last thing we want to stop on is what we need to eliminate. I hate that word of elimination diets, but we need a healing diet, right? We need those to know how to heal our bodies. Yes, sometimes we are eliminating foods temporarily in order to heal the body, but that elimination diet can really get in our head and make us feel like, oh, we are doing without. We're focusing on what we can't have. Instead, let's focus on what we can have. Today, I'm going to focus on that with an emphasis on what we eat while we're on the go. Okay. So some of, let me find my notes now that I've been totally all over the place. Some of our very well tolerated foods, okay? Well tolerated foods. Now, make a list while I'm going through these of foods that you could actually put in the car, right? Because that's what a lot of you wanted to do, was you wanted like foods that you can take with you to work, to, the office, to whether it's your sports games, whether it's simply running kids from place to place to place to place to place, and you're in the car for 4 hours each night, or just not home, to be honest with you. Or like I said, you're a real estate agent and you hop from home to home to home, and sometimes you get overspent on your timing that you weren't prepared for. Okay, so make a list as I go through these well-tolerated foods of things that you can throw in the car. You can put them in different quadrants where you can eat them raw, you can eat them cooked, you can have them at home, and you can have them on the go. And they may fit into all 4 boxes, and that is phenomenal, okay? Without saying fresh fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins, okay? Unprocessed foods. We hear that over and over and over. So I kind of sit here and go, yeah, we've all heard about Whole Foods. Who hasn't heard of Whole30? But I'll be honest with you, I don't know of one client in my program that could safely eat Whole30, because there's foods in that Whole30 diet and in that Whole30 plan that don't fit well with their bodies. Because when we look at this from a very personalized individual, with a personalized individual approach, like I said earlier this week, maybe we need to remove grains because grains are cross-reacting. Maybe we need to remove beans. Maybe we need to remove something temporarily that is in that Whole30 plan. Okay, low histamine meats. So let's talk about histamines for a minute. And I have a whole program around histamines, a whole lesson within my program around histamines that goes through list and highs and lows and mediums and how to eliminate creating that high histamine approach with our foods. But fresh cooked, that does not mean that the meat's been sitting out at the grocery store all day, all night at this room temperature state, but we fresh cook meat, usually from a frozen to table as fast as possible. And lean meats such as chicken, turkey, and lamb, which lamb has some amazing healthy fat in it. So I don't really consider that to be lean all the time, but they're usually very tolerated compared to processed or aged meats. Now, with that said, on the go, I have been the one. Okay, so when we're driving down the road and you're looking for somewhere to stop and eat, we don't always think of the grocery store. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this plug in there because you can stop at the grocery store and get a pack of Applegate sandwich meat and roll it up with some gluten-free crackers or some vegetables or some fruit and like really satisfy, you know, that hunger. And I've been one to do that, to where I've been driving for hours and I just get hungry and I don't have all my ducks in a row. And I've stopped at the grocery store, okay, not a restaurant. And sometimes we have to do that to meet this and get foods that are in those two categories I just talked about: fresh and processed foods, such as fruits and vegetables, as well as low histamine meats. Fresh fish, smoked salmon sometimes is a really great option. But you want to really focus on your protein and your omega-3s, non-gluten grains. Some of you will be able to eat rice without trigger. Some of you will be able to eat quinoa without trigger. I love quinoa. It works really, really well in my body. And it does not spike my blood sugar the same way that rice does. It doesn't affect my digestive system because my blood sugar is, you know, stable either. And it works really well with my body, and it works better than gluten-free oats as well. But some of you will be able to eat rice and oats a little bit better. So dairy-free alternatives, such as, you know, you can do a dairy-free milk with a protein powder. It gets really thick, really satisfying, really filling. If you can eat eggs, eggs can be a good option on the go. Some cooked vegetables, low histamine fruits. We talked about that earlier this week with strawberries. We also talked about potatoes and how potatoes can be a trigger for some, but sweet potatoes are generally very safe for the general population, most of you. Okay, so I want to talk about cooking oils, because this is where we're going to run into trouble as we pivot into eating out. Your cooking oils, such as your vegetable oils that are highly processed and genetically modified, and processed from a lot of crap, to include molds, very pollens, you know, a lot of pollens, just really bad oils, are going to get us in trouble when we're eating out. So we've got to set limits. Okay. By no means, when I give you safe options for eating out, am I saying, okay, we can eat out like 5 days a week. Okay. This is going to get you in a world of hurt. So from the list of things that I mentioned, meal prepping that's going to be key for packing stuff on the go. So having those gluten-free, dairy-free options, if that is what your body needs, you can pack a quinoa salad. So think about those places that we go to that have that bowl mentality. Okay, whether it's, you know, Cava, or whether it's Taco Mama, and guys, hang in there with me to get to the restaurants, because I've got some phone apps. I have just been so excited to bring you this, and me bringing it to you at 4:30 rather than like early in the morning. I've had lots of time to think because I was also driving today, and had time to like just mentally prepare and think about this. So I'm going to give you some phone apps. We're going to go through some scenarios. You can use quinoa or rice if that works for you, and you've not had a lot of rice in the week. I try to tell people, like, just be careful to pack in all that the carbs that are going to convert straight over to sugar, because I don't know where you are in the hormone balancing and the blood sugar balancing stages. So in a workshop like this, I have to just like put those caveats in there, because I love working with you during, throughout my program. And with that said, if you have not booked a welcome call, please get that booked. Reach out to me. Let's get on the phone together. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know some of your individual, health concerns, or the, wins. It doesn't always have to be something, but just get to know you better. All right. Another thing that you can use is rice paper rolls or coconut wraps. We love coconut wraps. There's also a Siete brand of wraps. They just don't wrap well. If you have noticed, gluten-free bread as well as wraps can just break and crumble more so than anything else. So I like using rice paper wraps and coconut wraps, and wrapping some fresh greens and veggies, and using some tamari or coconut aminos or ghee. There was a comment about how you have a hard time keeping yourself full with snacks. My key point to that would say you're not eating enough protein or healthy fat. Okay, you've got to have that healthy fat in there. Even coconut manna, M-A-N-A, can be a good mayonnaise substitute, but a good fat to really, really hold and sustain your body, to make it feel like you can, it's just sustainable with that food that you're eating on the go. Some soups are really good and don't have to stay hot, but I'm also going to give you a tip on heating things up. Sweet potatoes are, can be yummy even when they're cold and not necessarily warm. And they're not something that's going to go bad just sitting in the car. And you can top that sweet potato with some good avocado or salsa or black beans, even some pecans, and get that healthy fat in there with some ghee, and have that in a container in the car. So these are some of those meal prep items that you can pack for on the go. Pasta salad is good. Chia seed pudding is great. Salmon and asparagus in a wrap. So take that smoked salmon and wrap it with asparagus. You can do the same thing with some of that Applegate lunch meat that I mentioned. And I like Applegate brand. If you have another brand, put that in the comments. We can kind of chit chat about that. And I would love for you to teach me about your brand, right, that you like. I just know that one's super easy for me to find. And I like that. I like it better than trying to find any meat from the fresh deli section. I haven't found any there that aren't like just super packed with preservatives and nitrites and all of the above. But bell peppers, I cannot tell you enough how bell peppers just energize my cells. I almost feel the energy in my body when I'm snacking on fresh bell peppers. Making a hummus dip would be nice to have with the fresh vegetables. I just know that if you have a histamine issue, sometimes these chickpeas and a store-bought hummus will most likely have citric acid and some preservatives. A sweet potato hummus is super yummy. Okay, and you can give it some different garlicky flavors and use that. So rice and beans, and you can even add meat to that. So you've got lots of protein packed there. And I tell you, we do some chicken breast and cut those into slices, even chicken tenders, and it doesn't have to be hot. Okay, but I do want to give you a microwave tip. I'm going to plug that in right here. Who has ever walked in Panera and noticed they all have a microwave? They all have a microwave. Okay. So, and Panera also has a yummy salad, the Green Goddess Cobb, that if you get it without the dressing and I get it without the egg, that it can be just nutritious and, keep us on track. Is everything in there, like I said, completely oil-free? Is everything going to be antibiotic-free? Is everything going to be hormone-free? Absolutely not. So I'm not advocating eating out 5 days a week, but I'm advocating that you have options. Okay. I just know that it's necessary. But every Panera and most gas stations that you walk in will have a microwave. Do you know how many times we've been turned away from using a microwave? Big fat zero. Big fat zero. Even if I walk in to Panera and I'm like, I want a black coffee. I actually love their hazelnut flavored coffee. If I had to, if I am going to drink it, or just get, a green tea sweet, like an unsweet tea. And they have some unsweet flavored teas. I think prickly pear maybe be one of their unsweet teas, but just get, a little something if you feel like you owe it to them. Typically somebody we're with is going to eat there, and I use their microwave. Okay. So I have also made anything that I'm making at home and I put in glass dishes and pack in a cooler for weekend trips. And this is when obviously you're planning ahead. I've given some scenarios where you're hopping from house to house where you're not planning ahead. But I love like doing layered enchiladas, which is kind of a layered taco style, and doing some like the beans and the rice with ground meat. Black beans, rice, and a ground meat, or black beans, rice, and chicken. And I will pre-make these dishes to take with us for the weekend to keep in our cooler, and then use them one at a time as we need, walking into these places with microwaves. Okay, so we've talked a lot about some of those food items. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. Not at this time. Okay, so mixed nuts are great to keep in there if you can have like a mixed nuts. I know Target has a big container. It's got the purple wrapper on there, raw mixed nuts that bring in a very good protein source as well as healthy fat source. Rice cakes can be good, and you can top a rice cake with a nut butter or hummus and some fruit. Don't forget to use your chia seeds, your hemp seeds, get your extra nutrition in on these snack items and help fill your belly, right? So, and a good dairy-free, full-fat yogurt, these coconut yogurt options that you can put some protein powder in, some chia seeds in, and then put that in a little bowl to go as well. Vegetable sticks, I've mentioned that. You can make your own trail mix. You can find really good beef jerky. Okay, going back to those of you that have mentioned, like, I'm on the road and I'm snacking. I saw a lot of carb options, right? We can find those gluten-free pretzels. We can find gluten-free crackers. We can really get into the fruit. The fruit brings in a lot of sugar. It keeps our body craving sugar. It keeps our body craving, just more and more and more. So make sure you're getting the proper amounts of protein and fat. Okay, let's hop over to restaurants. Okay, hopefully I have not totally overwhelmed you with this meal prep idea or prepping snack idea, because yes, there's some things out there that we can stop and get. But again, you're going to find people on Facebook, you're going to find people on the internet that tell you don't eat out, all these unhealthy oils, they're killing the cells, they're killing us. I agree. Okay, I agree. But then there comes reality. All right. So I just know that as you go through my program with me, you're going to find what foods trigger your body the most. Okay. You're going to actually take your body through a detoxification time frame to where you can start telling, like, are your detox pathways open? We will focus on keeping those detox pathways open. And we're also going to focus on binding chemicals and toxins and binding food that does not satisfy with our body if we need to, as we're bringing food back. Okay. So all of that to say that I feel like we have to speak in terms of moderation and even moderately maintaining this lifestyle that we build for pleasure. There's so much socialization around being able to like go and grab food. But if your friend asks you where, to lunch, be like, yeah, do you mind if we go to this place, this place, this place? You know what I mean? Let me just share a post with you. So a couple of weeks ago, I had a friend of mine pick up my son from school. And she was like, okay, where can we eat? And I know immediately people think, oh my God, we're going to be completely limited. Because if you look at the list of foods that we don't typically eat, right, people are like, woo, wow. But if you actually come into our home, you would be completely amazed. We have, the kids' friends come over, and when they go home, the parents are like, they never eat this. Like, how did you get them to eat this? And I'm like, we keep it very simple. Like, we just don't overcomplicate meals. And now we do make meals that taste amazing. So, so she asked me, she goes, where can we stop and get something to eat? I'd love to treat the boys. I said, well, he knows how to order gluten-free just about everywhere. Marco's Pizza, like we will get gluten-free pizza from time to time. Is it the safest gluten-free pizza out there? Absolutely not. And he knows how to order it without cheese, and he knows it's great without cheese. Taco Mama, Culver's, Chick-fil-A, Slim Chicken, Salmon Greg's, Lawler's, Tzatziki's, and probably some that I've already forgotten is what I said. It's like, so if none of these satisfy your family, let me know, I'll keep going. And I'm going to tell you many, many more tonight than that, but I'm here to tell you that all those places we would find something to eat. Okay. And it's going to blow your mind. All right. So, the first tip that I want to give you with eating out, and I'm going to pause here and give you some phone apps that I feel you should download. And not that one. So the first one, everybody may have, may not, but the first one is Yelp. Okay, so Yelp is YELP, and that's what it looks like. We're going to use that here in just a second. And I'm going to show you how you can find something to eat on the road. All right, so I'm going to go and I'm pulling up Yelp, and it gives you a search bar. So you can type into the search bar what you're looking for, and I recommend you type in gluten-free. Okay, just have a starting point. And if a restaurant is gluten-free, oftentimes their staff knows how to talk to you. Okay, so I'm also going to teach you how to communicate with the staff. Then you can type in where you are going. So I am sitting here in Alabama, and we were traveling through Kentucky, and I typed in gluten-free Bowling Green, Kentucky. Okay, and then I'm going to hit search. Y'all, we found the most amazing place. Most of these places they're definitely not your Burger King. Okay, so they're a little bit higher end, but also kind of a fast in and out is what we were looking for. So I scrolled. The first thing was Ruby Tuesdays. That does not sound good to me. The next was Panera. We overeat Panera sometimes, or just get sick of that option. I wanted something unique, right? So we found this place called Burger and Bowl. All right, a lot of the places I'm about to list fit those two categories, burger and bowl. Now, you look at this. This is a 4.3 star out of 5. It's got tons of reviews on how I ordered like the burger, gluten-free bun. You can put the burger on a bowl. Let me pull up this picture for you and just show you. So topping it with all these vegetables, and then you get to decide what kind of burger, whether you want a bison burger, a turkey burger, a veggie burger, a beef burger, on all this yummy stuff. Now, I tell you, the number one thing that I recommend is you stay away from sauces and dressings. They're so full of stuff that it is just so helpful if you can stay away from those to help give your body the best start. Now, Did we have that? Absolutely not. But they had a wide range of like boba teas and coffees and shakes, but they also had the gluten-free buns, the fresh cut fries. And the other thing that you can type in Yelp, if you are looking for someone that is more gluten-free, more aware, is dedicated fryer. What that means is they have, get that spelled right, they have a dedicated fryer for gluten-free. Okay, not everything, if they have a dedicated fryer, then they don't throw everything into the same fryer with the grilled chicken, fried chicken tenders, right? So fried is not always good, or it's typically not good at a restaurant because it's typically canola oil, which is your cheap vegetable oil made with a lot of toxins and chemicals, a ton. But it's not breaded. Okay, so like if there's chicken wings, if there's wings that are fried or smoked or grilled but not breaded, and there's a dedicated fryer, you know they are aware of keeping their people gluten-free. Okay, so when I typed in dedicated fryer, I'm also getting some options for like these burger joints. Okay, a lot of burger places have dedicated fryers. The other app, I told you I was going to give you a few, is gluten. It's called Find Me GF. Find Me Gluten Free. All right, and you can see the top here. Find Me Gluten Free. You can type in same search style here. Type in where you're going, what you're looking for. It's already gluten-free, so you don't have to worry about that. The last app I want to introduce you to, because I just wanted this to be a power-packed informational session, is called Fig, F-I-G, just like the fruit. I do not want to enable camera access. So you can go to Fig, allows you to scan items in the grocery store. It actually also lets you go to restaurants, but it lets you set up a profile of your allergies. Okay, so like I have set up in here that we do not eat corn, egg, milk, peanuts, rye, sesame, soy, and wheat. Okay, those things that we know cross-react with gluten, do not satisfy our body well. And then it brings up those items that are safe in it. So you set up your profile and it can bring up other items for you. There is a free version and a paid version. You can type in diets, ingredients, like this one can get really robust. But it's also fun. Okay, like it's fun to look at, it's fun to just kind of set things up, and you can scan items in the store with the paid version. Okay, so let's talk about eating out, and then we're gonna call this done, and I'm gonna bring it all back full circle tomorrow because it's a lot of information. All right, so you're on the road, you're in a pinch. We've talked about foods that you can safely get off of a menu. We've talked about ingredients yesterday to avoid. When you walk into a food place, have an open eye with the entire menu. Okay, the entire menu. You don't have to find a meal on the menu that fits your criteria. All right, I'm going to give you an example. So we went to breakfast, and breakfast is so hard, so I wanted to use this as an example. We went to breakfast and they had a salmon Benedict. Okay, so that salmon Benedict, I asked, is it smoked salmon? Is it grilled salmon? It was actually a piece of like grilled salmon, and it had the egg and the capers and all that on top of a biscuit. It was this very nice restaurant in Savannah, Georgia. And then I kept flipping on the menu and I'm like, yeah. I saw at night on their dinner menu where they have a gluten-free bun. So the lady comes over and I was like, hey, you know, is there any way we could get this salmon Benedict no egg on the gluten-free bun, and maybe add some greens to it. It's just like, absolutely. Like, they get excited to service you. Okay. Do not like feel bad asking. Typically I'll ask, like, do you know what your chicken's marinated in? Do you know, is the steak marinated in Dell's? Is it marinated in soy sauce? And they'll be like, I'm not sure. Let me go check. They love to go find out. Okay. These are people of service. If they love the service industry, and even if they don't, just doing something different can sometimes bring excitement to them. Okay. So don't avoid asking. If it's, marinated in something, I'll say, well, is there any way that we can just do salt and pepper, and then have your chef put it on the grill? Absolutely. I even ask sometimes, is there a way that you can use olive oil instead of butter? We have a dairy allergy, right? You need to avoid it. Treat it like an allergy. Restaurants don't know how to recognize a food sensitivity or a food intolerance. They don't know how to recognize, well, I react to this sometimes and sometimes I don't. And like, I'm confused. So, you've got to speak with confidence to them. Okay, I have an allergy against this. Make it like a priority. All right, just make it that priority. So you go in and you scan the menu and you see what's there that you can eat. Okay, let's talk. They've got fresh vegetables. Somebody's got broccoli. Even Culver's, our hamburger joint here, has a gluten-free bun. They have the meat, they have broccoli, they, have options. Okay. So you've just got to look for that. It's not always a hamburger Happy Meal with fries and fried chicken nuggets. Like, it just doesn't have to be that way. So let's talk about smoothies. Smoothies are really easy to pack in the car. Protein, smoothie, you can do protein powder with even a bottle of water if you get in a really pinch. It's not something I like. I tell you what I do like are the nut pods. I like buying the little nut pods and putting protein powder in those because they're really filling with the milk option. And there's some ingredients in there that I don't like to have all the time. It's not my typical milk that I buy at home. My typical milk I buy at home is Elmhurst, ELMHURST. It has 2 ingredients. Okay. So we're really, really careful on the daily. It's just these times where like you need something, right? Okay. Let's talk about smoothies on the go. Smoothie King is horrible. Okay. Every one of their protein powders are whey protein, I could not find a protein smoothie of theirs that was dairy free and peanut free. And it was just like, please, let's get out of here. Then the nutrition drink places are very, very full of sucralose and maltodextrin and tons of ingredients that you don't need either. But Tropical Smoothie Cafe and finding even coffee shops that have like smoothies or the acai bowls can be just really full of nutrition. Now, when you go get that acai bowl, be careful. A lot of times they'll put some gluten-packed granola in there. They oftentimes have a gluten-free option, or just eliminate their granola completely if it spikes your blood sugar, because with that fruit, you've got a lot of things that'll spike the blood sugar anyway. Try to add almonds, try to add almond butter, try to add chia seeds, try to add hemp seeds, add something of protein, something of nutrition. Okay, the bowl places, I mentioned Kava earlier, like Mediterranean places where it's going to be a meat and a salad option and some rice, and you can just avoid the dressings and the dips. Even Tex-Mex places will allow you to say, hey, can I have that taco, but have it on a bed of lettuce? I don't want the taco, the tortilla. And it comes out and it looks phenomenal. Those taco bowl places, whether it's Chipotle, whether it's Taco Mama, can be a good option, and you don't have to get the rice every time. We went to Taco Mama a few nights ago, and I got something really simple with, it was like lettuce and all the veggies, and grilled steak because I felt like we had had a lot of quinoa and rice already. Look at your week. Okay. What does the 7-day period look like? What does this period look like as far as nutrition for me? What does it look like as far as carbs? What does it look like as far as protein? Have that holistic mindset and approach and go into the situations. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. I love talking about it. I actually haven't had a scenario come up this morning around grapes. Can't wait to talk about tomorrow. Okay, so grilled chicken. You can go to Applebee's, you can go to Outback, you can go to any place and get like grilled chicken. I know Outback has grilled chicken on a Barbie. They have grilled vegetables. They have that sweet potato. Five Guys. Five Guys was somewhere I would have never eaten 10 years ago, right? But there's no cross-contamination. They have hamburger, they have potatoes, and nothing else goes in their fryer. So if you're gonna like just kill the potato, that's a really good place to get a really yummy French fry, and you know there's no cross-contamination in their fryer. And I think they use peanut oil last time I checked. And I say that because Chick-fil-A no longer uses peanut oil, they use vegetable oil. And in June, when they changed that, a lot of my clients started reacting to Chick-fil-A. So it's just really hard when those oils are super toxic. Red Robin has a guacamole bacon burger. So you've got guacamole and the avocado. If the guacamole is made, you can ask them if it has dairy in it. I know Taco Mama's guacamole is made with sour cream. It has upset my stomach. It did it more than once, a few times, and so I finally asked, and it's made with sour cream. Go for the avocado. Avocado, you've got your healthy fat, you've got your bacon, you've got your burger. You can get a gluten-free bun or just go bunless with lettuce. I like going bunless with lettuce because the gluten-free burger is so packed, oftentimes with a lot of hidden ingredients that don't need to be there. A good salad with some protein. Now, salad dressing, try some olive oil, try squeezing lemon, squeezing lime, add salt and pepper, get that flavor in there. But really the dressings can be very sneaky. I've already mentioned avoiding the dressings as well as the sauces. Grilled salmon, it's not always wild caught. We're dealing with risk when we eat out. But a lot of times, you can specifically ask them what the marinade is, and it's safe. Sometimes it's just simply grilled or blackened. Then we've got, I know at BJ's, there's an ahi tuna salad that's very clean, it's clean as far as eating out. And then Applebee's, you can do like a grilled chicken and steak also. Just look for those menu items. Okay, so we talked about places to eat out. We talked about things that you can pack on the go. We talked about ingredients that are good for both, right? Like as you're scanning the menu, you can look for all of those ingredients that are super yummy. And I'm just going to check comments one more time before I close out and give you a few more tips. Okay, so nothing breaded, nothing on the sauces. And when you get in a bind, to look for those places that have the protein. Okay, chicken, steak, burger with no bun, and keep it simple. Tomorrow, we're going to talk a little bit more about that holistic approach. Okay, I don't want this to become a stressful environment for you. Your body and your immune system overfires in stressful situations. So I'm going to leave you with the idea today that when you walk into a place, you calmly scan the menu and you make the best choice you can. Now, if you start eating out 5 and 6 times a week, your body's going to be stressed, okay? Because it's going to be trying to dump more toxins and chemicals. It's going to have that heavy load. And the liver, you've got to love your liver. When we open the liver detoxification pathways, we've got to pay attention to, are they overwhelmed with excess hormones? Are they overwhelmed with toxins and chemicals? And we have to stop. Okay, so find a really good balance. Find a time that you can like bulk cut fruits and vegetables, have those on hand. Pay attention again to your healthy fats and your proteins, and really fill your body with some sustainable nutrition. Okay, going over a little bit. I hope this has been helpful. I'd love to see your comments and love to hear what you grabbed a hold of the most, what was most helpful. And I will see you back at noon tomorrow. We're going to have 2 more sessions at noon on Thursday and Friday, and then a bonus session on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And I will see you there. Have a good evening.